Guys, welcome back to Medusa's Mad World, and today we're going to be diving into something that is a little bit touchy, as I'm not huge on talking about it. I won't say I'm scared of talking about it, but yeah, it's a touchy subject because I don't like attracting them types of things. Today we're going to be talking about demonic possession. Now, I don't know about you, but you see me, I don't watch films like that, and I try not to delve into these types of things too much. So yeah, you can call me a coward if you want to, but I think it's for the best to minimize how much you talk about these types of subjects. Also, I just want to say, big up everyone that's been subscribing. If you've crossed over from TikTok and you've come to YouTube, thank you. I know a lot of you have been doing so thank you. Leave a comment below so I know who you are. So yeah, the case we're going to be looking at today, I think it should have a movie because it is a chilling case. It's a true story and it happened in England, where I'm from. And it happened quite a long time ago, so if you're one of the older people who watch my stuff, maybe you've heard of it, but if you're like around my age, you're not going to hear of it because it happened in 1974. I don't know if you heard the story of Michael Taylor, the man who was apparently possessed by a demon and he brutally murdered his wife. But what we will be looking at is, was it just insanity or was it something a lot more sinister? Stick around, as we're going to dive in a little deeper and find out. Ossett, a small town in West Yorkshire, England, it was not the place that you'd associate with horror, but in the early 1970s it became the setting for one of the most disturbing cases of alleged demonic possession ever recorded. Michael Taylor was seemingly an ordinary man, a husband, a father, a local, but beneath the surface cracks were beginning to form. Friends described him as kind, but prone to mood swings. He worked odd jobs, struggling to provide for his family, and then he found religion. In 1974, Michael and Christine joined a small Christian fellowship group, led by a charismatic young woman named Maria Robinson. Michael quickly became really involved, attending intense prayer meetings, but something was changing him below the surface. Some witnesses reported that during prayer sessions, Michael would go into trances, convulse and speak in strange voices. Some believed he was being overtaken by a dark force. His wife Christine grew suspicious, and she believed that Michael was having an affair with Marie Robinson. During one church gathering, she confronted him. What happened next stunned everybody. Michael suddenly erupted into a violent rage, and he began speaking in tongues and attacking Marie Robinson. It took several members to restrain him. The group then became convinced he was possessed, as his voice just didn't sound anything of earth and sounded demonic and sinister. And this went on for hours and hours, until the morning. By the morning, the priest was happy, and he was convinced that they'd expelled the demon from this man. Hours later, Michael returned home. And what happened next is evil and very much beyond comprehension. Overcome by rage, he brutally murdered his wife, Christine, gouging out her eyes and tearing out her tongue with his bare hands. Absolutely evil actions, and just completely out of character for the man that he used to be. The police even found his dog, which was mutilated. Now this just sounds like something out of a horror film. A police witness said that they found Michael wandering the streets covered in blood, repeating over and over, "It's the blood of Satan." And he said the crime scene was something that he will never ever forget, and it'll stay with him for the rest of his life.
Official police statements from the Michael Taylor case are not publicly accessible, as they are part of restricted records held by the National Archives in the UK, closed until January 2069. However, secondary sources provide some insights into the police's observations during the incident. For example, reports indicate that on October 7, 1974, at approximately 9:45 a.m, a police patrol encountered Michael Taylor in the streets of Ossett, naked and covered in blood. He was found ranting about Satan and was subsequently detained. Upon arriving at the Taylor residence, officers discovered the body of Christine Taylor. The scene was described as extremely gruesome, with reports indicating that Michael had inflicted severe injuries on his wife. While these accounts are based on secondary sources and may not reflect the exact content of official police statements, they provide an overview of the observations made by law enforcement during the incident.
Michael Taylor was charged with murder, but his trial took a shocking turn. The defense argued that the exorcism had left him mentally shattered. The jury agreed, and he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He was sentenced to time in a psychiatric hospital. So what do you guys think? Do you think that he was mentally ill and he was just pushed to a breaking point? Maybe there was something going on below the surface? Or do you believe that this guy was truly possessed? We all have our opinion, but I'll tell you right now, this guy was definitely possessed in my opinion. That isn't normal behaviour, that is wicked behaviour. That isn't something that a human can just do without the help of evil forces. Michael Taylor was released years later, living under supervision, but the case remains one of the most controversial exorcisms related to crimes in history. To this day, people debate whether he was a victim of supernatural forces or something much more human. So yeah, let me know in the comments, was this religious paranoia with a mix of untreated mental illness, or was this a demonic possession? Once again, thank you for watching, and if you like the content, hit subscribe, make sure you comment and engage with it. Let's get it popping in the algorithm. Thank you.